Hey everybody, I'm back doing another simplistic tutorial video with my stream set up here. I've got my laptop set up at the apartment. We've got Williams Flash, which is a late 70s solid state from Williams, and this is one you don't really hear people talk about that often. A lot of people kind of shrug it off, but I find when you set it a particular way in software settings, it is actually a very fun game. There's actually more to this game than I originally thought. You've got things like roving shots. You can light your upper loops, and you've got an upper loop on this, which is great with an upper flipper. The upper flipper also adds, some interesting gameplay dynamics depending on whether you have it up or down or you drop it at a specific time. It could be a really fun game, and it's also one of those games where, like, again, when it's set a particular way, you end up going for most things on the playfield over the course of a game. So it's not really a one-shot kind of game, which is nice. Now, if you do have it set a little bit easier, which I think it is on default settings, your upper shots, which could be worth up to 5,000 a shot, which is big points in this game, can be just lit all the time from ball to ball. And so it doesn't really require you to go for your drop target banks or anything on the lower part of the playfield. It's basically just spinner all day or upper loop all day. But what I've done is I've set it on pretty much the second to highest difficulty setting, where nothing's lit on the plunge. And when you drain, you go to your next ball. Anything that was lit unlights, so you have to relight it. And so that's kind of how I recommend setting up this game. So basically, again, you've got your gold shots up top, your orange shots, which you want to get lit, and your spinner lit. You do that by hitting the left drop target bank. You have to, on these settings, you have to complete the left drop target bank once in order to get those lit. And again, if I drain, that light goes back out. I have to relight it again on the next ball. A second drop target bank completion on the left will light my extra ball. But these target banks, they're risky death shots in this game, especially the center bank. But yeah, what we're going to do is play a couple of games here, and I'll just sort of explain things as I go and talk about, the various rules and whatever on the, that the game has to offer, and talk about some other intricacies about the game. So first things first is we're actually going to be playing a two-player game, apparently. My start button switch is a little fickle, and sometimes when I start a brand new game, it will pop in a second credit or, activate a second credit at the same time. So, unfortunately, we've got a two-player game going, which is why I have the camera zoomed out a little bit more. But you'll notice that I also have a glow ball in here. This is not a power ball. It's actually a little bit lighter than a power ball. And I found with some of these old games that play really slow, there are a lot of things you can do to try to speed up a game like this. This is a player's, condition, routed game. Playfield is all worn. All the inserts are dipped. The ball movement goes all over the place. With a steel ball in here, the gameplay is kind of slow. But if you put a lighter ball in, the game instantly plays faster. Now, there are a couple of caveats to that because the inserts are so dipped, and I don't have the legs raised up super steep. Sometimes the ball will get stuck on an insert, and I have to shake the game to get it free. But hopefully that won't happen too many times here. But it does speed up the game considerably, especially once we go for those upper loops. Again, you've got this big loop going to the left-hand side. It loops all the way around to the upper flipper, hits the spinner on the way down, and then you can just keep looping it over and over. And the idea is to get your upper shots lit and then try to go for those loops, because for one, it's really satisfying. But two, it's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You can get some good points if you get 5 or 6 loops. You can get 30,000 points plus however many thousand you're getting from your spinner. So, but with a lighter ball in play, it feels more like a modern game when you're looping those loops. So, but several things you can do on the plunge. What I like to do is go for sort of a mid plunge. You can either go for a short plunge and try to hit one of these roving shots in the drop target bank. It's kind of like a form of a skill shot. Or you can do a full plunge and feed the upper flipper. But that's not really worth doing because nothing's lit. And because nothing's lit, you're not going to really get many points, just a few hundred points for, spins that you get. What I like to do is do a medium plunge, which takes the ball to the top lanes. And there we go. And the idea of the top lanes is to try to complete them. Completing 1, 2, then 3 will give you 2x on the ball bonus, and then completing 1, 2, 3, and then 4 will give you 3x in the ball bonus. Now you'll notice that I was going for loops there. I shouldn't have done that simply because you know, nothing up there is lit right now, and so it's not really worth any points. But I wanted to demonstrate like how fast the ball can loop around that upper part of the playfield. So a couple of things I can do here. I can go for the center drop target bank. It was lit, so I got 5,000 points for that. But you'll notice that I also lit a red light in the middle of the playfield. Every completion of the center drop target bank lights another red light. And when you get all 4 red lights lit, there's 3 up top, and then there's 1 called Super Flash in the middle. When you hit it a 5th time, it'll give you 50,000 points instantly. It's a nice feature. Now, I do have it's called Thunder, Lightning, and Tempest. I have those lights set to carry over from ball to ball. I think that's a little more fair because it kind of helps balance the game out a little bit. You can have it set to where those reset after every ball, and I don't really recommend that. You know, I recommend letting those carry over because the center drop target bank is a death shot for sure. Especially if you try to hit it from the left flipper, has a tendency of reflecting off and going straight down your left out lane. So 25,000 points on ball 1, nothing crazy. We didn't really get anything lit, but we did get a drop target completion on the center bank. And again, since it carries over from ball to ball, I'm thinking progress from maybe a ball 3 collect, right? So again, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to medium plunge up to the top lanes. And the top lane value is actually pretty decent. It's you get you know, X amount of points in thousands multiplied by the lane number. So lane 1 is 1,000 points. Lane 4 is 4,000 points. A lot of times what happens is the ball will say go into lane 4, that's 4K. Pop bumper will kick it right back up. That's another 4K, and it'll come back down into the 3 lane, and that's 11K total, right? And then if you have your pop bumpers lit, that's 1,000 points a pop. And so you can get 15, 20K just for going up to the top lanes. So the top lanes are valuable in this game. Now, speaking of pop bumpers, you can get those lit. There's a target over here. So got it. Now, unfortunately, my top 2 pop bumpers are quite fickle. Their lamps are fickle. So I have 1 pop lit. All the pops are lit. It's just the lights are out. It's actually the connection's not great. So, all right, I got the ball on the right-hand flipper. I can either go for the center drop target bank. I can go for the left drop target bank. I've already gone for the pop bumper target, which lights my pops. Or I can go for the inner loop up here. But again, the inner loop's not lit. It'll just take me to the top lanes, and it's a deceptively difficult shot with how these flippers are currently sat. You'll notice that the flippers are almost completely flat. It's actually tough to get the ball under control on this specific machine with how the flippers are set. So ideally what I want to do is go for my left drop target bank, but I'd like to go for the red roving shot because the importance of that is the red roving shot is 5,000 points. Now, unfortunately, when I get the ball on the fly like that, there's not a lot I can really do, unfortunately. And that ball was just going to completely roll off the flipper. All right, I need 1 more target. It's the second to last target. And let the ball bounce. Thankfully, the slings aren't too sensitive right now. Again, wait for the roving shot. Oh, you got to be kidding me. So one of the downsides to the glow ball is this can happen. Let's lightly tap the right flipper. Yeah, that was bad. I really want to raise the back legs to make it steeper, so that's less likely to happen. And that was a good little nudge save. And there we go. So because we completed our left drop target bank, we've now got the upper playfield lit. You notice that there are 3 orange lights. That means that those are my 5,000 point shots. And if you can, when it's lit, go for the spinner. The spinner can be worth a lot of points. We just got probably about 10 or 15,000 points from ripping that spinner. And that's out. But because I got 1, 2, 3, I got my end of ball bonus up to 2 times. And you can get up to 30 times, or sorry, 30,000 points in bonus. And then that's multiplied by 2 or 3 times, so you can get up to 90,000 points of bonus just about. So again, back to square one. So we're back on player 1. And what's cool about the top lanes is if you don't actually complete them, you don't get 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually carries those over, which is nice. So, you know, I don't have to start brand new progress on those. So right back up to those top lanes. That's 1,000 points of bonus. Not a lot of points, but, you know, not a lot of points. That's fine. And so I got the ball stuck on the flipper. I'm going to try to pop it into the target bank, and that was good. I got the 5,000 points because I got the roving shot. And I can just let this bounce over, just like that. And I got another roving shot, so that's another 5K. And up to 47,000 points, not great. Now, if I wanted to, I can try to do a short plunge, go for the left target bank. Got it. So I completed the target. I got 5,000 points for it. Got another roving shot right there. Now I got the ball under control, so I don't want to just wait. There's no reason to flail in this game unless like you absolutely have to. It's all about collecting those roving shots. Those add up a lot over the course of the game. And so I actually got my top lanes lit because again I completed the left target bank. Now, if I complete the left target bank again, I will light an extra ball. And so sometimes I intentionally go for that. But realistically, ideally what I want to do is try to go for that spinner. But again, roving shot. Oh, I missed. Again, it's hard to get this specific machine under control. And drop catching is actually quite tough. But again, if you get it under control, you want to just wait. So we're going to go for that roving shot, and I got it. And now my extra ball is lit on the right saucer. So now what I'm going to do is go for that. So it is possible to post pass. Not always the best or easiest. Let's see if we can try it again, because I really would like that extra ball. I do find that my my right flipper is a little laggy compared to my left one. It is not quite as responsive. And now if my flippers were sitting higher, I could get the ball higher up on the flipper and backhand it into it. But since the flippers are so flat, the backhands don't really work at all. Almost. Sometimes it might help you to raise the upper flipper if you're trying to hit that saucer. That should bounce. Oh my god, man. This floatiness just kills me on some of these old games, man. So that's one thing I want to do is I want to, you know, with this ball in particular, I want to raise the back legs. I want to crank them up. But they're the levelers are currently rusted shut, so I can't really do that. I can get down and try to apply some kind of, you know, WD-40 or something like that to try to get them loose. But I'm probably just going to end up getting new legs for this thing and new levelers and whatnot. And then when that happens, I will raise the back. That way, it should be a little less floaty on the bottom part of the playfield. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and just do a little short plunge, and I missed the target by just a little bit, and that's fine. One thing I like to do on the upper flipper is hold it up when the ball is on that right-hand side, because usually what happens is when the ball's on the right-hand side, it doesn't like shoot straight down really fast, and a lot of times I can actually stop the ball or maybe even do like a little bit of a upper drop catch and then get the ball under control, or you know, like drop the flipper at a particular time so it just kind of feeds down to one of these flippers. Now if the ball is looping around the upper loop really fast, don't hold the flipper up because the ball has a tendency of just going straight down that left out lane. Let's just do a medium plunge. We got 222k on player 2. And let's see if we can do something else here. Have a decent rest of the game. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to collect the extra ball on the, you know, my last ball. But that's okay. I was trying to just demonstrate it, but it is worth going for. Now, a lot of times what I do is I just get my upper shots lit, and then I don't bother with the with a left target bank anymore. I just try to go for spinners, and then basically I'll just let the ball bounce around and just, you know, just let it hit the target bank occasionally. Or if like I get an on-the-fly shot like that, I'll try to hit the target bank instead of going for that upper loop, because the upper loop is like, the inner loop is really hard for me to hit, especially on the fly. So we'll try the inner loop. There we go, we got it. And because the ball is so fast, sometimes what ends up happening, and that's what I'm talking about. That feels really good. Now, unfortunately, the ball is so fast, sometimes it actually skips over that big loop rollover, but I heard it hitting a couple times, so it's 5, 5, 5. And there's also a gate missing on this game. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a gate. I actually kind of like it without the gate, though. I am going to try to put a new gate on, but I like the dynamic where sometimes it can roll in. And the reason that's good is I get a free shot on the upper loop, because the upper loop is so satisfying and you don't really hit it that often. So we can full plunge and then get loops just like that. Really, really fun. It reminds me of Getaway, actually, where, you know, the plunge always loops around. Tap the, I was going to say baby tap the flipper, but wasn't able to. Top lanes, nothing crazy. Unfortunately, we do not have our pop bumpers lit, so those pops are not really giving us anything, you know, good to work with. So at this point, I guess I could try to go for the, oh, got our pops lit. Now it's just about keeping our ball in play. And that's, ooh, I was going to say that's probably out. Spinner? Ooh, no, no spinner. I was trying to hit the target bank, but I missed. And sometimes you can hit those from the upper flipper. It's not recommended. I don't recommend going for your target banks from the upper flipper. Maybe the upper target bank, the middle one. Sometimes you can sweep the targets from the upper flipper. But I couldn't get the ball under control. But, you know, much better game than on the player one side. We got almost 500,000 points, 500,000. 495,000. So not too bad, not too shabby. We didn't even get an extra ball. So for a 3-ball game, that's actually not too bad. It says the GC is 847,000. That was just because my settings reset and I wiped out all the scores with it. I've definitely rolled this game. Flash is a really easy game to roll if you have it on the default settings, where everything's just like lit for the whole game, basically. So I do recommend raising the settings a little bit, making the game a little bit tougher, and that'll make it so you're not rolling it every other game. So it is still very possible for me to roll it, you know, in the state that it's currently in, but it's definitely not an every game thing, and not even, I mean, that 847,000 was probably after like 20 or 30 games, actually. I was streaming this a few nights ago, so I'm going to do one more game, and then put in another player as well. What I want to try to do is go for the center target bank. So I'm going to short plunge it, and we're just going to go for the center target bank, and I'm going to just kind of show you what that does. Alright, just need one more. Now if you can get the ball under control, you can just kind of like pop it straight up and backhand the right target. And easier said than done. Okay, we got one. So you notice that one light in the middle has lit. Now, like, this is a viable strategy, you know, if you say, like, you're playing competition or something. The problem is that the center bank in particular, they're death shots. They are very much death shots. Short plunge into, boom, got it. 5,000 points. And there we go. The ball got stuck on the super flash insert. So we're going to go ahead and try it again. Ooh, just barely missed it. Wow, this game does not want me to do its tutorial at all. It just wants me to drain. Now you can also do a super, super short plunge and try to get the ball like that. But again, that's risky. There's no ball save on a game like this. So, well, after you hit a switch anyway. So you run into that risk where, yeah, it's coming back because I hit 0 switches. You run into the risk of, like, you know, again, sling straight to outlane. Alright. Now again, like I said, look at that. Hitting the center target bank from the left flipper, it's a death shot. It's really bad. So I don't recommend doing it. So a good play from the, say, the left flipper is maybe just go for top lanes. Go for the spinner. Again, it's only 100 to spin, but you'll get your top lanes. If you got your pop bumpers lit, you'll... man, this keeps happening on this lower flipper. This is actually kind of embarrassing. It is kind of embarrassing. But whatever. Now there is another target on the left... sorry, on the right-hand side. It is... it basically lights your in lanes. It'll advance 3 bonus, and it'll give you 3,000 points. So it's good to have that lit, but it's not something you're really intentionally going for. That's definitely one of those targets where I just kind of let the ball, you know, incidentally just roll into it occasionally. Look, oh, death shots from that left flipper. Death shots, man. Do not go for the center bank with the left flipper. It is not good. It does not lead to good things. Alright. But I'm doing it anyway, because I want to show you what happens when we get the Super Flash. So, now, for those of you guys familiar with this game, you're probably wondering, hey, where's the game's namesake, the Flash? So, this middle part of the playfield is actually supposed to be flashing. However, that part of my game is completely busted. This actually isn't my game, it's someone else's game. But the point is, it's completely busted, so this is supposed to be flashing as you play the game, which is a really cool effect. But yeah, that whole functionality is not working right now. And I missed the roving shot, and there we go. Got it from the upper flipper. But now what's really cool, and this is something I haven't explained, is when you get to this point, all those targets now are 5,000. And they stay lit for 5,000, which is also really awesome. So when you complete your left target bank several times as well, it'll also become permanently lit 5,000 per target for the rest of the ball. So that's, you know, something you can build towards, which is really cool. Now again, they're death shots, but you know, that's definitely something that can add up over the course of the game. Now I unfortunately wasn't able to show off the Super Flash, but you'll notice that the center light did light. Which basically meant if I had completed that target bank again, it would have just awarded 50k instantly. So, but yeah, I don't think there's really much else to talk about. You can light special, but you know, there's not really anything else on the game to explain. So, I do recommend putting in a lighter ball. If you have like an old game like this that is just, you know, worn down. I waxed this the other day and it's still playing pretty slow. Flippers probably need to be rebuilt, but you know, putting in a lighter ball can definitely help with the speed. I do recommend a power ball. I don't recommend a glow ball. The reason I have the glow ball in here is my power ball's in another game and I don't want to take it out. And I do recommend a power ball. It doesn't get stuck on the inserts like the glow ball does. It's a little bit heavier. Also has a nice glossy finish, so it kind of rolls a little bit better. But yeah, that's a good way to speed up these old-fashioned games. So, but yeah, Flash is a really fun game. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, post them down in the comment section below. I'll try to be back with some other kind of video like this in the near future. I wanted to do one on F-14 Tomcat, which I have here as well, but it's also having an issue right now where the slings and pops, pop bumper, are not working. Something happened a few weeks back, and they just died. We did some preliminary troubleshooting on that, and weren't able to really figure it out, so we're going to have to dive into it deeper. So I probably want to wait to do a video on that until we get that sorted out, but I've got my Fireball Home Edition that you don't see very often. I'll try to do one of these on that. Very simple game. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry we didn't put up amazing games. $500,000 is a good, solid game. But, you know, the other games weren't all that great. 45, 50,000. But you kind of get the gist of this game. It's basically go for your left targets, get your upper shots lit. Pop bumpers lit is very good to have. Multiple target banks on the left, light your extra ball. Now, something I wanted to mention is if you put this on the hardest difficulty setting, you have to complete the left target bank twice to get your 5,000 shots lit. I don't recommend that. I think that's too much work to do that because it's 5 targets. That means you have to hit 10 targets total, actually hit your shots and not drain in the process. But completing them once is good, and then having the lights go out when you end your ball, I think balances it out a little bit. On other settings, you can complete it once, light them, and then they carry over for the whole game. It's yeah, so make it a little more difficult, make it a little bit faster, and it's a really fun game. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.